Hello, it's Lloyd from Blackpool Air Rifles. Welcome once again. I've got a couple of air rifles to show you today. One reasonably new and one that's just arrived in yesterday. So let's get down to it. First thing we've got is the new FX Streamline. Now you may have read a couple of comments I've made about this rifle already, but I'm going to go through this because I thought afterwards I was maybe a little bit unfair on it, so I'd take a proper look at it. And actually there's some really nice points about the Streamline. There's some pretty poor points as well, but we'll get to those in a minute. Basically what we've got here, as you can see, it's a pre-charged pneumatic from FX Airguns of Sweden. You've got there's the compressed air cylinder, which is fixed permanently. Okay, it's almost like it's sort of part Wildcat, in my opinion. So basically what you've got is like quite a few of the internals of the Wildcat. It's regulated, and if anybody has ever come across FX regulators, they do work exceptionally well. Very, very consistent. They make the gun extremely quiet. We've shot this. This obviously has got a what looks like a sleeved silencer. We've stripped it down and had a look inside it. And there is not an awful lot of room actually for any air to expand. It's a very, very thin sleeve. We also saw the smooth twist barrel on the gun. That basically seems to come as standard with everything that FX are doing these days. But it is an extremely quiet rifle, and actually when you fire it without a pellet in, you think it's going to be a little bit noisy, but when we've tested it properly and fired pellets through it, it's exceptionally quiet. Which is really nice. You have the usual sort of manometer on the front end of the gun. You've got a charging port with a dust cover at the front, which is obviously very nice. Just basically slide it round, push your, I think it's basically a standard FX probe as usual, very similar to the Webley probes. So that just pushes in the front and you charge it. You may have noticed as well from the pre-production photographs that appeared on the internet, the cylinder is a little bit shorter. I don't know why they've done that, to be honest with you. I don't know whether it's to save weight or basically from some sort of a safety angle to make sure that the barrel is longer. I really don't know, but anyway, you can see it's a couple of inches shorter. I remember the figures were around about 250 shots per charge in 2.2 with the shorter cylinder. I mean, I haven't gone through a complete cylinder charge yet, to be honest with you. We've been really busy in the shop, but we reckon it's probably going to be around about the 200 shots per charge in 2.2, and obviously less in 177, maybe around 160. In my opinion, absolutely more than enough for most people's needs. That's a great number of shots from a small cylinder, and again it shows how efficient the FX regulator is. They really do seem to be able to eke out the maximum number of shots for the amount of air that's used. So really good, to be honest with you. You know, happy with the cylinder. The usual sort of Barthelon side lever, the standard FX rotary magazine. It has got fully adjustable trigger on it, and also as well, if I turn it round, again, you might be familiar with it, but you've got a little power wheel on the side, which basically sets it from around about 11.5 foot-pounds down to around about 9 foot-pounds, and then down to about 6 foot-pounds. So, you know, if you want to plink in your back garden with it, and you want it to obviously be even more efficient and even quieter, so you don't disturb the neighbours and you get lots of shots out of it, that's great. If you're doing a little bit of pigeon shooting, and you might be doing it indoors and you don't want the pellets actually doing a lot of damage, then obviously at close range 6 or 9 foot-pounds is going to be very handy for you. Great action. Another nice thing about it, and obviously you can't tell, but it's incredibly light. I've weighed this morning. This is 5.8 pounds. It's almost too light. And the problem is as well with a lightweight gun is it doesn't really feel good value for money, because you pick it up and you sort of go, well, it's, you know, it doesn't feel very sturdy. Obviously in the field, and once you've got your scope on it, that's going to probably increase to about 7 pounds, which in my opinion is a tad light, but you know, some people really, really like light rifles. So again, each to their own. I'd like to see a bit more weight. Which actually brings me on to the sort of main gripe I've got, which is really the stock. I think that obviously the stock is very light, and a wood stock is going to be heavier, which is obviously going to help the balance. But also as well, that. In my opinion, that's a pretty dull-looking stock. It doesn't really scream out quality. It doesn't, and it certainly doesn't scream out £750. So I really wish that FX had actually brought the wood stock version out first, because I think a lot of people are going to discount this rifle purely because it looks really bloody boring. You know, what can you say about it? I mean, it's got nice shapes to it. It does the job. It works. You know, and if you're just a guy that just wants something to perform really well, and they're not really that bothered what it looks like, you know, great gun. But I've seen pictures of the woodstock version, and it looks 10 times better. Unfortunately, there are no wood ones available yet, so we had to take these sort of, I don't know what you would call it, rubbery, plasticized style stock. And I'm guessing, to be honest with you, underneath that, there is probably some sort of really, really cheap wood, but I'm not 100% sure. I may be wrong on that, and obviously if I strip it down further, I might be able to actually suss out what the stock is made of. But to me, it really looks like a sort of wood style stock, actually covered in this sort of smooth rubberized grip. And as you can see, there is no checkering on it or anything like that. It's as plain as can be. And in my opinion, for 750 quid, it should be better than that. Another thing I really, really don't like about this gun is that you've basically got an adjustable, you've got an adjustable recoil pad on the back, which basically slides up and down, and you've got this sort of interim piece that has been cut down, I guess, to fit the stock. But one, it doesn't fit the stock properly. You've got little ridges and gaps and stuff, and two, it's a horrible colour because of obviously it's been sanded and not maybe finished off properly. That again, not really good enough on a £750 rifle. The finish itself, I mean, I've heard quite a few people criticise FX finish, and you know, we've had customers actually saying I'm not happy with the finish really on the price of the rifle, especially on the impacts. You know, the impacts have got some pretty poor finishing in certain areas, to be honest with you, for the amount of money that they cost. It really extends to say exactly the same to the FX Streamline. The actual finish on the cylinder is really sort of, it's very dull, and you can see millions of little minute sort of, I mean, I guess they're just sort of marks that come from manufacturer, but you know, it's not marked as such, it's just covered in the stuff. It's sort of, you know, it'd be nice if it was blued, it'd be nice if it was a really good anodized finish, but it sort of looks a little bit cheap, to be honest with you. And again, I hope that FX actually improve the finish on these guns and make them look a little bit nicer, because again, £750, I expect a little bit more. The other thing that I really wasn't impressed with, to be honest with you, is there's some sort of weird gap going on at the muzzle, and I thought it was the actual silencer adapter that just needed screwing in, but it won't screw in anymore. But when you actually turn the sleeve, as you can see, as you turn the sleeve, it closes the gap, but then another gap opens up at that end. I think that's a manufacturing fault. I think that they've made something either too long or too short, and it's given this gap at the end, and this will not tighten up. So again, you know, it really, to be honest with you, it's not good enough for that price of rifle. In fact, it's not really good enough. It was a 300 quid rifle. I expect things to be made to the specification. So what do I think about the FX Streamline, and should you buy one? Well, you know what, if you want something that's going to perform really, really well, and you're not maybe that bothered about the actual overall beauty of a rifle, then you know the Streamline's going to be great. If you like lightweight rifles that do a lot of shots, absolutely fantastic. Would I buy one? No, not at the moment. I don't think it's good enough, to be honest with you. I'd want it in wood. I want the finish to be a little bit better. I want this issue, whether this is just a one-off, I don't know, because I don't get rifles from the manufacturers that are specific, you know, that are special for me to do write-ups on. You always worry that if obviously if I ask for a rifle from the manufacturer, they're going to make sure that they give me something absolutely perfect. This has just come straight out of the box of a batch that we got yesterday, so I need to check obviously the other guns to see if this is a standard issue. But basically, if this was better finished with the wood stock, and actually they're doing a laminated stock that looks gorgeous, and this little problem is sorted out, I think you're going to end up with an absolutely fantastic rifle. Probably performance-wise, at least on par with the HW100 or the S410 or the R10. It's going to end up being absolutely a fantastic rifle. So we're gonna wait and see what happens. Basically, we're going to obviously like forward these comments onto FX. We're going to order we have ordered the Woodstock ones, which are obviously going to be more expensive, but we haven't got a finalised price. But this is $750, so I would imagine the wood one's going to cost $850, $899 approximately, give or take. Does that make it too expensive? Not really, to be honest with you. When you look at the prices of an S410 these days, or you look at the price of the HW100s, which are obviously going to go up in price shortly because of the exchange rate, I think the 100s are going to go over 8 and probably maybe even more than that. I don't know yet, but you know, they're in the ballpark for the prices. Just FX, please, just you know, get your finish better. And check things out, make sure that this thing fits and make sure that fits, and etc. etc. But overall, I think that when they've got that sorted out, this is actually going to be a fantastic rifle. I think it's going to, you know, because of the regulator and everything, I think it's going to shoot. Well, it does shoot fantastic. I've tested it already, and it really does shoot lovely. So once I get these little bits sorted out, it's going to be recommended, but I can't recommend it at the moment in the rubber stock with these little issues. Okay, so that's the Streamline. We've obviously got a couple of the rubber ones in stock now. Wood ones, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks' time. I'd have to check again. It's difficult with FX because the importers never give us delivery dates. They don't really seem to know. I'm hoping we're going to get the wood ones before Christmas, but fingers crossed. Okay, and the other gun we've got. Now, we've had this a couple of weeks, and to be honest with you, I didn't really pay an awful lot of attention to it. This is the new, well, it's not new really, it's been out a few months. It's the Dyna 340 N-Tec. We have not stocked Dyna for a long time, and there's a reason for it, to be honest with you, because they just don't sell. And Dynas were very, very expensive. They're actually more expensive than Virax. They didn't perform quite as well generally. They looked a bit old-fashioned. They didn't shoot awfully well either on most of them. And I know some Dyna fans out there are probably going to want to hang me high for saying that, but you know, it's the truth. If you compare it directly with the Virax, of the same sort of, and Air Arms, obviously, Air Arms TX200, the same sort of price, the Air Arms and the Virax would outshoot the Dyna. But this gun is a little bit different. It's called the 340. It's called the N-Tec because it's nitro piston. And again, a lot of people don't like nitro piston guns. In other words, the Theoben gas ram style. They're not over keen because, you know, they think they're a bit harsh. We got this a couple of weeks ago, and I've just actually been messing around with it and trying it. And I tell you what, this shoots absolutely fantastic. It's lovely. It's probably the best Dyna I have ever shot. It looks good. It's got a really nice finish on it. I mean, obviously, there's little bits about Dyna, like, you know, you've got the scope rail that's bolted on. I sort of wish they would actually, you know, machine the grooves into the cylinder, but hey-ho. I think the open sights look a little bit old-fashioned. And to a lot of people these days, that length of the barrel just, you know, it looks like you could poke the things in the eye with it. You know, but the nice thing is, I found out that they actually are doing a carbine version of this, and it's evidently going to be a lot shorter, and it's going to have a silencer on it. So that's going to be nice. They're not in stock at the moment at the importers, but we're expecting them anytime soon. This one actually is selling for £425. That's with the gas ram system. It's also got a superb trigger unit. I think that's a TO6 one. It's got automatic safety catch. It's a lovely, lovely piece of kit. This one's called the Anniversary Edition. Okay, so that's, what is it, 1890, I need glasses, 1896 to 2015. So that's a special, 125 years of Dyna, so that's a limited edition. Lovely rifle. We've got those in stock, or, you know, they'll be at your local dealer to have a look at. The main thing is that there is a new importer for Dyna, and for some reason the prices have come right down. So that's why we're stocking them again, because I think they're reasonable. We've also got the K98s in stock and a few others, and they've all come down in price, and they're all very, very reasonably priced now. So I think that's a real well done to Dyna for producing something that's not only pretty, but it actually does shoot exceptionally well. And in actual fact, I would say that would easily compete with a HW95 and probably easily a HW80 as well. So if you're looking for a break barrel for your collection, that's one that I would highly recommend, to be honest with you. Lovely, lovely rifle. Last thing I've got today. Now we haven't. we haven't really bought anything new in scopes for quite a while. I've looked at a lot of scopes and I've not been over keen on what I've seen, but we actually got the Cornus rep in a couple of weeks ago. Range Right, who are the importers, came to see us, showed us the scopes, and to be honest with you, I was really, really impressed by them, because not only do Range Right offer great after-sales service, excellent warranties, they're always on the phone to us, you know, there's no issues at all with Range Right, but the scopes themselves are absolutely superb. So I'm only going to show you one, because we've got displays with them all over the place, and they do like a huge range of scopes, but I'll just show you this one, for example. This one is a 3 to 12 by 50. It's, as you can see, it's like a really lovely, super compact model. Japanese lenses, not cheap Chinese lenses or whatever, Japanese lenses. As you can see, it's non-parallax adjustable. You get the butler creaks with it. Basically, that is a 3 to 12 model. And if you look, I'll just take those off. If you look, well, I'll see if we can do a close-up of it. The actual numbers on the magnification ring, you can see them from behind, which is a really nice feature. It's also got illuminated reticule. It's a mil-dot reticule, this, and that is blue or red. We've taken a look at and it's a nice looking scope as well. You know, if you've bought a bullpup and you want something with reasonable magnification, 3 to 12, and a decent sized lens for low light, but you don't want something 2 foot long, then take a look at these. This is called, it's the T30 range, and it's just really, really good to look through. It's bright, it's clear. The mil-dot is, I like mil-dot reticules. I don't like anything too complicated for hunting. The range starts, the little compact, we've actually got about 4 or 5 of these in compact scopes, all different magnifications and stuff, and they start off around about £150. I think this one is heading towards the £200 mark, but we've got them all on the website if you want to take a good look at them. We've got them in stock. That's the Konus brand, okay? Very, very impressed with these. I think you're going to see more Cornus about. I think people don't know the brand name at the moment, but once 1 or 2 start selling, I think people are going to actually start looking at them and going, yeah, I fancy one of those myself. That's going to be, I might actually put that on my HW100 Craftsman Vit bullpup, which I think would look really cool. It's fairly light in weight, and like I say, you're not losing any optical quality, Japanese lenses. So they're great, okay? So we've got those in stock now as well. Okay, well, we're really busy at the moment, so I'm going to keep it nice and short and sweet. That's it for today. If you've got any comments on anything that you see, you know, the Streamline, you know, please let me know what you think about it. You know, if you think that it doesn't, you know, tell me what you think about the stock, for example. And also, I'd like to hear from people with Dyners, and you know, I want to know really what the Dyna, what people think of the Dyna brand these days, because it has sort of got forgotten, and it's such a shame. And like I say, Cornus scopes, fantastic. Come in and have a look at them, see what you think for yourself. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, or if you want to actually get the videos as they come out, heaven forbid, subscribe to us, and obviously you'll see them nice and early, and you won't miss anything. Great stuff. Thank you very much. Bye.